Hey everybody, wake up. This is Wake Up with Mark Joyner, episode number 114. And today I will answer the question, why would you choose to live in Phuket, Thailand of all places? All right, so I got asked this question recently, and it came steeped, I tell you, in all of the insinuations and stereotypes that come along with Thailand. It's funny, I have employees in the Philippines, and then after that, I ended up living in Thailand. And people in the United States will often raise an eyebrow. Oh, you're in the Philippines, you're in Thailand. What are you there for? Must be something dirty, right? Yeah, there are people that go to these places for various things. There are, for example, probably a higher percentage of lady boys in the Philippines and in Thailand than in other places. That is true. At least I don't know of any statistical data to support this, but it seems to be the kind of thing. That is not my scene. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But it's funny how people will make these assumptions. Another thing that they will assume is that you are there for the prostitution scene. For example, in Phuket, there is an area called Patong, which is, it's kind of the touristy area. And, there are a lot of interesting things there. For example, there's Bangla Stadium where you can see a lot of Muay Thai fights, real live Muay Thai fights. But then there's also, tons of prostitution out there. And a lot of super aggro dudes who are out there looking for prostitutes. Not my place to hang out, actually. I don't particularly care for Patong too much. I don't go down there very often unless I have to go to the mall. I am in Phuket for some other things that a lot of people are not aware of. I'll tell you the chronological history of how I got here. And then I will go a little bit deeper into why this is a fantastic place to live on many, many levels. So first off, I was always interested in Phuket because there is a fitness community here that is unparalleled. UFC fighters from all over the world come to Phuket to train. Why? Because there is a community here that I believe historically sprang up around Tiger Muay Thai. Tiger Muay Thai is probably the most famous Muay Thai gym. And then since then, I believe that American Kickboxing Academy even has a branch out here. There's a whole bunch of MMA training centers. There are many fitness professionals. And all kinds of interesting things happening. In fact, something happening today that I'll tell you about here in a moment that I will be attending, which is quite awesome. That was the thing that initially got me interested in Phuket. I could choose to live anywhere I want in the world. I want to be in a location where I can practice what we call in Simpleology Kankyo Kaizen. If you guys haven't checked that out, go to simpleology.com/KK. And you can get your Kankyo Kaizen starter kit. This will show you how to manipulate your environment to change your behavior. Where you live matters a lot. What are you in proximity of? Are you in proximity of stuff that is going to make you sick, or are you in proximity of stuff that is going to facilitate better and healthier habits for you? I choose to be in proximity of things that are going to create better and healthier habits for me. If I can be within proximity of a fitness community, so much the better, right? It is going to make me more likely to stick on my path. And I also believe that if you are training around, or if you want to become a certain thing, find the people who are in the best in the world at that particular thing, and then that's going to raise the level of your game just by being exposed to those people and learning from them rather than, from, second, third, fourth generation down, people who aren't quite as good. Your learning curve is going to go up a lot faster. This is why I tend to train one-on-one. I do not like group training environments very much. I'm not satisfied with most of them. They move too slow for me. I want to find somebody who's absolutely amazing at what they can do and work one-on-one with those guys so that we can just go boom, boom, boom fast and help me level up my game as quickly as possible. This is a hotbed of people like that. People are coming in and out all the time. For example, my trainer, Thomas Engberts, is becoming quite the famous trainer at this point because he is training a lot of UFC fighters. Most famously, right now, Johnny Walker, the one guy who has probably the best chance of beating John Jones at this point. Johnny Walker happens to be here now training and getting his shoulder fixed by Thomas. So one of the reasons why he's here is because Thomas is here. Now, the chronology that brought me here was after I found out about that. It had kind of been on my radar. I was living in, Manila at the time, and Mitch Miller, came along and he said, "Hey, man," he said, we want you to speak at our upcoming event, but I tell you what, I'm just going to fly you out here, and you can hang out at our place, for a week and see what it's like." So I was like, "All right, cool, man." So they, gets me a ticket. Boom, I bounce out here, and we hang out for a little while. And then we decided to do this event together. We co-hosted the latest episode of their fantastic Project Persuasion events that they put on every year. And they were telling me, "Hey, man, you could live out here if you wanted to, And I thought, well, let me check this out. Let me sort of feel it out for a little while. So before the live event, I hung out here for a week, and then after the event, Thomas Engberts came up to me and proposed the working relationship that we have now, which is fantastic. And that was the thing that tipped me over, right? I said, okay, that's it. I'm out here. Today, I'm going to a live Wim Hof training. Sadly, this will not be with Wim Hof himself, but I believe it's with a Wim Hof certified guy. And we're going to be there working for 5 hours on breath work. We're going to end it, of course, with ice baths, which will be traumatic I'm sure, for a lot of the people out there, but not for me because I've done it so many times now. It's traumatic for about the first 5 to 10 seconds, then not so bad, if you know how to do the breathing correctly. Also, the quality of air here in Phuket is much better than in, say, for example, Bangkok, Thailand. I don't understand why some people choose to live in Bangkok, when the air is so bad. Although I cannot fault them having lived in Manila, for a little while. I love it out there. But the air in Manila was quite bad. If I were ever to go back to the Philippines to live, it would not be in Manila. It would probably be somewhere outside of there. I think that air quality is very, very important for your health. And I think that it's almost a crime against humanity what we are doing to people right now with bad air quality. So the air quality is yet another reason to be in Phuket. Another reason to be out here is that, I am surrounded by people who have their priorities right. In America right now, I got to say, I have a hard time getting along with a lot of people out there because their heads are just not screwed on correctly in a lot of ways. I have not once in Thailand been accosted by anyone because I did not agree with their political viewpoint, for example, right? In America, everybody's all butthurt if you disagree with them, whichever side you happen to be on, and people take great offense to this. People are ending friendships, severing family relationships. I've even had to do this too because it got so bad with some people. I'm sorry, but I will not have in my life people who are constantly saying caustic, insulting things to me because they disagree with me on a political issue. And for me, I'm kind of actually, I'm open to all sorts of ideas, but the fact that I don't agree or am listening to the other side is often so offensive to some people that they cannot tolerate that. I'm sorry, man. If that's you, you got a serious problem. You got to work out. If you cannot handle that, I am listening to the other side of your argument as if there were only two sides to these arguments. They're far more nuanced and subtle than that. If you cannot handle that, it's not my problem. It's not my problem. You got to work that out. And if you need to get insulting with people because they disagree with you, good luck. Good luck with that, right? I don't think your life is going to be super easy. I don't have that kind of problem out here in Thailand. In Thailand, people tend to have this attitude of let's not judge people. This is why, the lady boys out here in Thailand, the Thais don't judge them too much. It's like that's what they choose to do. That's their life. They let them be, which is, how I mean, I don't care how somebody wants to live their life. If they choose to be, green, purple, male, female, whatever, that's their business. I'm not going to, as long as they're not interfering with my life, I'm okay. And Thais tend to have that attitude. That seems to be part of the Thai culture. Now, out here as a farang, a foreigner, you got to be aware of the fact that there is sometimes friction in between the locals and the foreigners, as is always the case in almost any country. It's not unusual for people to be a little bit like cautious of somebody who is not from their country and favor the people who are from their country. I don't think this is abnormal. I think this is kind of it's an inbuilt tribal thing that we've got. So, you have to be aware of that there is that phenomenon there. And a lot of the foreigners who are here, aside from the people who are here to get drunk and belligerent and find prostitutes as their primary reason for being out here, there is also a subset of people out here, the type that I tend to hang around with, who are very, very serious about improving themselves, and are also not wanting to be judged by mainstream society for something unusual that they might be involved in. I like people like that. I like people who are different, who are outside of the norm. Not necessarily as a virtue. Sometimes there are things outside of the norm that are unhealthy, that are toxic. That's totally true. But as a general rule, I like people who are not thinking like the herd. I appreciate that. I respect that. I respect the independence of thought. And I respect the seriousness of a lot of the people out here in their fitness community. Where I go this morning for this class, I'm not going to be the only dude that's ripped and jacked in there. Okay. In fact, probably everybody in that room is going to be ripped and jacked and healthy. And there'll be a few people out there who are not. A few people out there who are seekers, who are like, hey, I realized I'm obese. I need to get my life in order. I'm going to go out to Phuket for a while and I'm going to get my life straight. Those people are welcome out here too. There are many, many people out here who come out here for fitness holidays, to reset their lives, to get their bodies back in order. And I'm speaking to a friend right now. There is a friend who I'm helping sort of coach through some problems right now, and she is living a sedentary existence. She has been for many years, and she was telling me, that I'm not going to say her name, of course. She was telling me that she's going through some problems right now. She's kind of, she's in a rut, depression, whatever you want to call it. And, after asking her a lot of questions, I was like, wait a minute. And I said, what kind of physical discipline do you have right now? And she said that she's been sedentary for years. And I thought, well, okay, so here's baseline number one. If you are unhappy with your life for any reason whatsoever, and you do not have a baseline physical discipline going on in your life, I'm sorry, no magic pill is going to change that for you until you get that fixed. It is not an option in life to be sedentary unless you are content with slowly decaying and becoming sicker and sicker over time. It is just simply non-negotiable. You have to get this part of your life sorted out. Phuket is a great place to go out and do that. The problem that most people have is it's just like going off to a self-improvement seminar. Okay, if you go out there and you could go to one of Tony's events, and man, I'll tell you what, in 3 days that guy will put a lot of really positive, powerful information in your mind. But there is a decay. Why? Because you are back in the old environment. You are back around the old stimuli. This is why I like to live in environments like this. Okay, so if you are considering, changing your life, consider a vacation in Phuket. A lot of people go out and do this. I'm starting to do some events out here. I don't know how many I'll do, but I'm doing a mastermind next month, private small group of people. I'll be working with them on their business. for 4 days straight. If I do this kind of thing, it will probably be here because, I know that people will be willing to travel out here. I don't want to have to travel myself because I don't want to mess up my routine. I prefer to travel as little as possible so that I can keep my routines intact. But, I am but one of many people out here who see this place as an opportunity to tap into the vein of a lot of people who are similarly minded, who are on the path of wanting to achieve something higher, wanting to get something more out of themselves, perhaps transform themselves completely if they've been on a totally wrong path. There are a lot of people out on the Soy. This is the area. The Soy is just a side road, but there's only one The Soy in Phuket, and that's the road where Tiger Muay Thai is. You will often see a lot of obese people out there too, and the world class athletes are not looking down their nose at these guys. They're like, all right, respect. You realized you're a little bit broken right now, and you're getting your shit together. That's awesome. I have been there too. I would be a serious dick if I were judgmental of people who are physically broken right now, because I have been there myself. I know what it's like. I know what it feels like. But what I can tell you is you don't have an option. All right. This is not something you need to put off. All of your excuses are bullshit about it. You don't have the time. You can't find a class, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. You know it's bullshit. You have to make the time. Consider it part of your job. Okay? If you think of it like that, you will find the time. You will work it in there. Okay? And you're probably wasting a lot of time on inane stuff that you could be using on your fitness anyway. Get involved in a physical discipline of some sort. Phuket is a beautiful place to do it. That's it. For anybody else who comes at me and tries to make insinuations about Thailand, it's like, I don't know what to tell you. Enjoy your ignorance. All right. Anyway, for the rest of you beautiful people out there who are not like that, I respect you and appreciate you guys. And you all have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.